one other thing that needs to be included in our AEC extended objects for Max Design is the ability to add railings in procedurally, which is really useful and really handy. So as you can see here, we're back at the apartment again, and at the moment we're at the back of the apartment where there's a very nice balcony which currently allows you to plunge off the edge into the abyss, which we don't really want. What we'd like to do is to put a nice railing around here to stop people falling off. So I'm going to come to my standard geometry, and I'm going to come all the way down to my AEC extended, and you'll see here we've got railings. Now the first thing this is asking me to do is to pick a railing path, and a railing path is something that I don't have at the moment, so I'm going to have to go away and make one. So we'll click on our create shapes and go to line, make sure that we've got corner and corner selected. I've got my 3D snap switched on. I'm just going to click quickly and make sure that's set to vertex, and then I'm just going to click once, twice, 2, 3 and 4 times, and I'll just go around that and make sure that my vertices, oh there we go, my vertices are in the correct place. Let's just have a look, come out there. Yep, that found the right edge there, and that found the right edge, and I think probably that one did as well. Nah, not quite. I'm just going to move that one ever so slightly so that it conforms in here. So I'll press F3, go to move, and I'll just drag that over to there. There we go. Always worth checking these things. Always worth checking them. Right, so as I sort of move around a little bit there, and I'll press F3, here we go. Right, so I know that there's a path in there. So I'll come back to my create geometry railing, and then the first thing I'll do, pick railing path. Boom. Now, that looks as if, to me, the path has gone all the way along the back here and not around where it should do. Well, there's a very good reason for that. Let's go to our modify panel and let's click on respect corners. And the moment that you click on respect corners, suddenly it starts to respect the corners. So that's really very useful. So now we can do exactly what we've done with all of our other AEC extended primitive objects like the windows and the doors and what have you. We're going to just go through this list of all of the options one by one. Let's just close these up so we can see all of them. Go through these one by one and just change the parameters. So here's my railing. I've picked the path, I've got the segments, we've got a profile for the top rail which could be rounded just to make it a little bit nicer to hold on to. Quite often you find that. And we've got a depth here, so we can make it sort of more of a sort of an oval shape, which is a lot cooler. See the number of segments that we've got in here. You can see as we go around, that's just adding segments in. Now it may feel as if you're unnecessarily adding segments into that, but really I would say for something like this, maybe 64 segments, just to make it all nice and even all the way around. The width, again, is something that I can sort of make this very big and rounded. I actually quite like the idea of this being just very slightly sort of oval shaped. It's a lot nicer, it's a lot softer to work with. Looks a lot nicer as well. So there we go. Again, the height is something that we can do here. So I could say, for example, that I want the height to be about 120 centimeters, 1 meter 20, which looks a little bit big there, but if you think you don't want people sort of falling over this unnecessarily, so we'll make that 1 meter 20, so it's nice and high, and we'll then come down to our lower rails and to the profiles in the lower rails. So we'd like these to be square, and again we can give them a depth, and we can also give them a width as well. So I'll make the depth 5, and I'll make the width 1. And I can also here, I've got this one, we'll generate mapping coordinates while I'm there. We've got this thing here, lower rail spacing, so I'm going to click on that. And at the moment, I think I probably need to just pull out and round a little way so I can see everything. There we go. At the moment, I've got a count of 1. So if I increase that, I could have a count of 2 or a count of 3. I think maybe we're going to stay with... Ooh, this is a tricky one. I think we're actually going to go with naught, because I know what we're going to do later on. I'm going to put something else in here. I'm going to put some glass in. So I think actually what I'll do is I'll just take that down to 0, and I'll get rid of that. But you can see there from that we could include as many as we wanted, and we've got offsets as well that we can use for this, and we can obviously have it centers or edges or whatever. But yeah, I think we're going to take off these for the moment. We'll close that down, and I'm going to go to the posts, and it's the posts are the ones that interest me. They're these things here. So with these, I'm going to make these a little bit bigger. I'm going to make them 5 by 5, and there you go. Sorry, that's the ones just at the end here, and we'll increase this. Now we've got 2. We increase this any more. Hang on a second, let's just cancel and zoom out here. What we're going to need to make sure we've got is enough of them to support the glass. So let's just have a look. If we start to move around, how many is it that are going to work for us? I'm just having a look here, maybe 14. Maybe 14's about right. So that all works for me. We don't necessarily need the spacing, the offset, and we can close that. So now we're going to look at the fencing here, and we've got pickets or we've got solid fill. So I think I'll probably go with the solid fill option. And really what I want to do with that is I want to worry about my offset. So I can offset from the top, and I can offset from the bottom. There we go. And also I can offset as a left side of the panel, and I can offset as a right side of a panel. Now, also my railing here, my segment's at 64. We don't necessarily need that anymore because we've got this all split up with the posts. But you can see what we've got here is something that looks really rather quite nice. We've got the beginnings of these pickets. They're all solid fill. What we've got here is we've got the posts that are supporting the glass, and then we've got the glass in between. Really nice. Really very, very simple to do. Didn't take me very long. I mean, this video's only been going for 7.5 minutes already. And I've got this barrier at the back. We can set that to be glass. We can make it frosted glass, whatever material we want. It doesn't really matter. But we've done it. It's there. And if anybody wants to come back, if anybody wants to make any changes, if the architect wants to make any changes, or the designer wants to make any changes, or the client, we can do that really quickly, really simply. So we can even start to use this as a design tool as well as a visualization tool.